What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Humble Thread Podcast. We're just a couple of guys sitting around talking about life, being funny and relatable. Kick off your shoes, pop that beer tab. I am David Graves.
And I'm Michael Hart. Welcome, everybody, to episode 24. Now, if you guys enjoy this podcast, be sure to leave us a rating, a written review on your podcast platform of choice. It really helps the podcast reach new listeners.
And guys, also, we have our shop up. Please go look at our show notes and or on me and Mike's social media. You should be able to get to the store because we got some brand new shirts. Thank you guys once again for helping us reach 500 listeners. We have shirts and we have hoodies up there. Come on and grab one.
Maybe we'll have a holiday thing coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should do a holiday shirt for sure.
We'll definitely.
That would be great. But without further ado, all right, David, let's get humble. Talk to me, man. What's going on in the world of Graves?
Whew. Guys, finally, life has slowed down a little more off the stressful side, such as me looking for a job and everything else like that. We are good on that front. But guys, man, I think I might have mentioned it last podcast, but I did the thing. I bought the ring-a-ding-ding-ding, just in case, actually somewhere upstairs and probably listening to me. We also found a spot, so that'll be pretty fun, but it's going to be November 20th. I don't know if I need to disclose it, not like you guys are going to run up on me anyway. But I was going to do it in Philly, but we're thinking Longwood now, and then we can come back. Our friends can be here, such as Mike and some other people we can celebrate. It'll be a surprise for. Cheaper, because as I get older, I want to do these grand things. You want to do all this stuff, but I just broke down my bills today and everything and realized, wow, we should probably try and be more sensible with things and figure out what we're doing. But I did that, so get ready to hear about that. I'll probably make a video, and we'll have some photos, and we'll put it on probably our YouTube. That'd be pretty fun to do. And one thing that me and Mike can both contribute to was our Halloween party that we went to. Our friend Nelly and Kevin. I had a grand time. They had these pre-made shot things. I don't know if you guys. I don't even know the name brand of it. But they split it in half. They have nasty ones. They have good ones. They put Ghostface over top of it, so we couldn't see what it was that we were choosing. I thought that was really cool. But it's always a fun time at Kevin Nelly's, of course. And Billy, if you're listening, all I gotta say is this: you got beaten Pong again. My man Bill thought he could beat me and our friend Jamie because Jamie don't play Pong and everything, so they were all cocky. And we too owed him. They ain't good. So there's that. Mike, how did you enjoy the Halloween party?
Yeah, it was great, man. I thought it was funny because the invitation to that party was either dress in formal attire and wear a mask, or like a classic masquerade type party, or come in Halloween costume. Mm-hmm. And what was absolutely hilarious, when me and my wife Carolyn got to the party, we both dressed up. We were, she was like a skeleton lady wearing a skeleton outfit, and I was Spider-Man, specifically the Peter Parker Spider-Man from Into the Spideyverse, the kind of disheveled version of the Spider-Man. But regardless, had a full body suit, wore the outfit, did the thing. But we get to this party, and literally everyone else is in like black tie affair, wedding gowns, as if we're going to like a ball somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, clearly missed that memo that this was more about dressing up super nice and not about the costume, even though it was on the invitation, Nelly. Mm-hmm. But either way, we had a great time.
I think it made it better.
I think we had some of the most fun because we were already dressed up. Yeah, because I was Spider-Man. David was dressed up as a student from My Hero Academia.
Deku, if you want. I did have a maskish thing that I don't know, but it was fun.
Yeah, super cool. Regardless, and those I think they call them ghost shots or something. I don't think it was a name brand specifically. I know they came pre-bought, but yeah, there were these little plastic shot glasses with a mixer on one side. On the other side was your liquor, and they just were mystery shots. So you'd have to grab one, take the lid off, and just knock it back, and hopefully you got something good.
Billy had tequila and cinnamon.
Oh, okay. I think the one I had was strawberry and cream or something. It wasn't bad. Not my vibe, but it wasn't bad. But actually, I was good all night until you guys in the kitchen started made a random mixed shot with something.
No, that was Billy and Kevin. Never again will they give me something. Never again.
Yeah, that actually was I feel that one. but it was
Nasty.
good. When it went into overtime when I was on the pong table, because it was me and Nelly versus Billy and Kev, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds right. Um, and but yeah, just a bunch of friends getting together, hanging out. It's always a great time. Their place is just so like I guess like party friendly. It's got like good spots to park in. Just they have like a garage that they can use to like have
Mm-hmm.
extra like overflow if it's too many people there. But
Everyone's
overall,
really nice. We never have
yeah,
any like
yeah,
altercations or
incredible. Yeah,
problems.
no altercations. Really, really awesome group.
That's
This
my
is the
favorite part.
this is the group that we've been talking about, kind of like all summer. Like this group that we just consistently been having parties with, like having
Mm-hmm.
good times with. So shout out to all of them. If you're listening, we love you. We care about you, and we're so grateful that we're all able to hang out like we do.
Yes, sir.
But yeah,
Yeah, Halloween party was pretty fun. Then Halloween, I was here handing out candy as you do as an adult, which is weird to me because now I'm an adult. But I was Woody with the worst Woody costume you've ever seen in your life. But me and Ashley's family dressed up as the cast from Toy Story because her nephew really enjoys Toy Story, which was pretty cool. Also, had to wear it to a party before Nellie's, which I dressed up as Woody. And that outfit, I was like, never again. Next year, I want to be like Mandalorian and my child be like Baby Yoda or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
that'd be great.
But yeah, Halloween was fun. We ordered a bunch of food. Some people came over. Me and my neighbors like got together and put like one table together and had a fire pit. So we were all just enjoying ourselves. Over the weekend, I helped my dad move, and I'm telling y'all right now, if you have to move within the next 2 years, don't ask me because I'm not doing it ever again. That was the worst thing ever. But I will say, not a sponsor. Penske, if you want to sponsor us, amazing trucks. Amazing. Backup camera, front sensor, back sensor. If someone's too close. Amazing. But yeah, I helped him move. He's moving like right down the street because him and his wife got divorced. So he's just alone now. Now he's with my brother. But yeah, we had to move some couches. We had to take a couch apart, some beds, everything. I never want to move again. I was so tired. And then I had to go pick up a bed set that we need for this house. Never do 2 moves in a row. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I was going to die. Shout out to Mark for helping me. Also, happy birthday. You'll probably hear this after your birthday, but it's Mark's birthday. And then Sunday, something again that me and Mike can talk about. Well, mine was Friday. Mike's was Sunday. Was the My Hero Academia movie. Now, Mike's gonna say it was an amazing movie, but there's some factors that play into mine. Okay, we saw our sub because Kevin and Nelly wanted to watch it sub. I'm not a big sub guy. Sometimes it ruins the anime for me. I don't know why. I'm trying to focus, and I have ADHD, and I don't like looking. And I just don't like looking down, then up, down, then up, down, then up to try and figure out what's going on. I want to watch it in its whole integrity and call it a day. That was the thing. The animation in the beginning was a little rough. Like when not to spoil, but they were fighting this one character. She had the bows, and they were in a helicopter, and they were running on the side of the mountain, and everything, and they really skimped on the animation. Now I can see why. The ending had a lot of animation with the fights, a lot of detail and stuff. But in the beginning, Mike, I might have to pull it up because I want you to see it. Because even Nelly brought it to my attention. I was like, yo, this was like, what was up with this fight animation? Like this, it was weird. It was like they drew it and didn't shade or nothing. But, anime movies, and also anime movies are a little weird to me. I love anime movies, but it's kind of like anime is anime. So I kind of want you to put in the show. I don't know why, but that was fun time too. But I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because it was amazing. The Dragon Ball movies, the new ones that came out, I give those a 10 out of 10 because I connected with those a lot more. But My Hero, great time. Mike?
Yo, yeah, I loved it. I saw it in dub, so English speaking voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I watch the show anyway. So like, I know that's roughly how you prefer to watch it as well. So I wasn't, I guess, deterred as much from the get-go because I knew what I was getting myself into. I wasn't surprised that it was the thing I didn't want to do. But I agree that I think that it would be nice to have these stories built just into the show or whatever. But like, I still think there's a place for them because there's so much that they were able to do in this movie that they just couldn't really do in the show. Like the budget was clearly a lot higher, specifically for the ending fighting scene and all of those final sequences. Like, I'm very surprised to see examples of what you're talking about from the beginning, because I don't think there was ever a moment in the beginning of the movie where I was like, huh, that looks weird. So
if you think back to the rooftop chase scene and then the side of the mountain fighting, when he was like doing parkour over the thing and Deku was chasing him, there was very like, and when I say animation wise, like they drew out everything. They didn't put any detail in it. So it's like a rock would look like you drew a rock and then slapped paint on it. That's literally it.
Okay, no. I
like, you know what I mean?
I don't immediately have like a scene from the show, like the movie, that like is that example. But I totally know what you're saying. Like, it was far more important to the animators to animate the motion, even in the beginning part, to show motion happening. Than to detail up everything they were running past.
Exactly. But I will preface, I guess I should have said, I don't like it when it's, like, I like anime movies, but sometimes they grab those movies and they get it out of, like, the chronological order or the anime, or they do, and it's just weird timing, so, like, you don't know what's going on. So, like, if they would have made a My Hero movie and it was, like, during a different time, they didn't try and fit into the story now, you know what I mean? Then I would have been like, all right, cool. But I mean,
like, to that point, I'll also say that, like, it is wild because when you think about where this took this hypothetically, because I know the movies are like somewhat canon, like maybe they're not in the manga. I know that. They're completely like new plot lines, storylines, kind of thought of based on the story that's told in the show. And I know that like so this movie takes place, for those of you who know the show, this movie takes place while many of the first years are at their work studies, and specifically when Izuku Midoriya or Deku is with Endeavor, right? And so like I remember that whole arc where they were with Endeavor, and like obviously like stuff happens, this, that, and the other, but now to like try to like shoehorn this massive epic movie into that scenario, because I remember them coming back from the work studies like, oh my god, the work studies, they were great, like yada yada, you know, like everything's wonderful, it's an anime, you know, and it's like, whoa, like they actually saved the world, like
exactly. And I'm trying to remember, like, did he have his black whip after the work study, or did he have it before? Because remember, he couldn't control it. Was that before the work study?
No, it was but he learned about Black Whip prior to the work study, specifically with Endeavor. But he still could only use it like 5% or something. But I mean, like I don't think we're spoiling much if you know the show because it's not canon. But like, just please go see it. It's a good movie. But like Black Whip, like the ability that Deku has, he's Spider-Man. Like you cannot tell me he's not Spider-Man now that he has that ability.
Everybody got
because like there's a scene where he's like swinging around with Black Whip over like a bridge, and he's like holding on to somebody. It's like the straight out of a Spider-Man movie. It's, don't get me wrong, it's cool. It's a great sequence. Love it. Had a great time watching it. But it's like, all right, so now I don't know. I guess the coolest thing about My Hero to me in general is just that this main character has so many other powers he hasn't even like understood yet, and it's like he's already like obviously like wildly overpowered. But I don't know. It's a good show, gang. If you haven't seen it, it's in theaters now. Most places have it. It's called My Hero Academia: World Heroes Mission.
Yeah, it was. And also, they had Godzilla in there. I don't know if you guys pay attention to and that's another thing. Pay attention to the heroes they throw in the background. It was hilarious. We saw Godzilla. Godzilla with the cape. It was like Godzilla with the cape. That Egyptian dude running was so weird. Like, I don't really even know what his, like, I don't know if his power was super speed or like what. I have no idea. But whatever the creators did.
They said he's so fast because he's so thin. He's paper thin. Bro, it's like all right, like, you know.
Said, yo, funny how they didn't show any of the American heroes, but I can guess why. But guys, go see that movie. It's a great time, especially if you want to get out. You know, figure it out. I found out that Ashley's sister went with her boyfriend. I said, Ashley would never go see anime with me. So I said, you got one up on me, buddy. So shout out to him. Last thing, I got to feel my baby kick last night. It was pretty cool. It was the weirdest feeling ever. But I've been trying, and every time I come over, Ashley says I'm not patient, which probably is true. But I always come over, I feel, and then he stops when she feels him moving. So I'm like, I'll just stop. And she's like, maybe he doesn't like you. I was like, I just think he knows who's the boss around here, okay? He feels that pressure, that you know what I mean? But no, I kept it there for a long time. And it felt weird. It felt like somebody had a pool cover over a pool, and there's someone in the pool, and they just like touched your hand or something. That's what it feels like. That's the best I could do for example for you guys. But yeah, great time. Mike, what's been going on in the mind of Mike, man?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that we didn't chat about that we weren't exclusively involved with was at least my Halloween and what I did on Friday. So Friday, friend of ours, and I guess someone that my wife grew up with, specifically my sister-in-law Jamie, their friend Andrea, it was her wedding, a beautiful wedding. It was wickedly like angry storming outside that night. Wind was crazy, but the wedding was beautiful. The ceremony was amazing. The food was super good. It was an open bar, so everyone was getting turned. There was a bunch of like older like white ladies that were just like dancing their hearts out on the floor to like Sandstorm. Like it was one of those kind of weddings.
What song?
Like Sandstorm. Like the DJ was like throwing like all sorts of crazy stuff in the mix. Like man. Definitely like a very stereotypical like wedding and or DJ set. Like it was an interesting experience, but like it was there was the kind of wedding where there was like it was almost like an abundance of food. So like everywhere you looked, there was another like hors d'oeuvre that could like be served to you. Because when we first got there, like after they did like some weddings do like a cocktail hour before they even do the start wedding, and then sometimes they do it after the wedding, and vice versa. So, but like they did the ceremony, and then it was cocktail hour, and people just were going lit on the bar because it was open, right? So you just tip the bartender a couple $, and you can get whatever you want. They had liquor, beer, wine, and all that stuff. One side was like all like finger foods, and the other side was just like a mac and cheese bar, or like it was like they had like chicken Alfredo, they had mac and cheese, bacon mac and cheese, and they had like a baked ziti. And on top of all that, they had people walking around. This wedding cost a lot of money. Like clearly, this they had people like walking around like with little plates. Like so, you're already stuffing your face full of mac and cheese, and they come around with like little cocktail weenies or like pigs in blankets, or like all. Yeah, like essentially walking around, like serving you off of the stuff. And I ate so much, but I was trying to keep up with my eating because I was drinking. I was like, I'm the one driving home, so I was like, I gotta keep eating if I'm gonna drink that or whatever. But it was a good time. Me and the wife, cut loose on the dance floor. We had a nice time. Our buddy Billy was there, and of course my sister-in-law Jamie, and then the in-laws were there. So that was always nice to see them. But overall, really nice time. And then Saturday we went to that party together, which was super cool. Sunday, Halloween. My neighborhood, like in previous like post or pre-COVID years, would do exactly kind of what you described, with like a fire pit, tables all together, just kind of like adults hanging out while the kids kind of do their thing. But this year, like I don't know, like last year we still kind of did that, which was like in the middle of the pandemic. But this year it seemed a lot more like nobody really wanted to talk to each other. Like there was like everyone. Because I live in like a cul-de-sac, and so we all kind of just bring tables out to the end of our drives, so no one actually has to walk down to the house. And then you just kind of hang out there, like grab a chair, you bring like a cooler of beers or whatever, and you just kind of hang out, and then get to see everyone come by with their costumes. They take candy and so on and so forth. But this year, like the vibe just wasn't there for like everyone to kind of like chill with each other, and I don't know, just it felt different. A little less festive than it has been in previous years.
A lot of social anxiety,
maybe. But I think the biggest thing that made a difference is this year, out of any of the past years we've been here, we didn't get that many trick-or-treaters come through. And maybe it's just a sign of the times, maybe it's just the neighborhood's growing up, or I really don't know. But yeah, we usually get like slammed. We usually run out of candy, but this year we still have like mountains of candy. I bought way too much.
I dumped it in someone's basket. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't keeping it.
I was telling kids to take. I was like, please take handfuls. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like you just hit the jackpot. Please take more, please.
Mhm.
But no, I mean, like nothing. I mean, I just will eat a whole box of candy.
Oh god.
If it's kept around, I've been telling Carolyn, please just take it into work. Like,
Same.
leave it on someone's
I
desk.
can't
Like,
do it.
just get rid of it. I will eat it. I do not have the ability to not just
Yep.
eat candy. It's like, especially like Reese's cups. Come on.
And the Butterfingers?
Like, like peanut butter and chocolate in general. Like let's just let's show some appreciation for the peanut butter and chocolate combo.
Man.
Like, it's so good. Like, I would, like, oh man, you could make me do a lot of things for Reese's cup. Like,
Guys.
love me the Reese's cups, man. Eventually we'll have a PO box, and then our listeners can just send me Reese's cups. I'll probably die of diabetes, but like, at least
God.
I'll go out happy.
Or it not passing the expiration date well or something. Someone might send you old one.
No, yeah, that wouldn't be very good. But yeah, other than that, Halloween came and went. It was a Sunday this year, which always kind of sucks because then you got to go to work the next day, unless you take off the next day or you go to Catholic school. Because I know Catholic schools like honor the day after Halloween is like it's like All Saints Day or something.
So now public schools are doing it. Me and Ashley's niece, she had off Monday and Tuesday because they have Tuesday.
Wow.
They have the parent-teacher conferences. Then Monday they had off or something. I said, "Wow, where was that when we were kids?" It's
That's
always
convenient.
when we leave.
Right? Yeah, because nothing's worse when like a holiday like Halloween is on like a day right
or
before
like
you have to do
Thanksgiving or something like.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. Or like Christmas on a Sunday or whatever. Like a Christmas Day is a Sunday. Like
you'd have off that whole week and then Monday. Bang.
Yeah, no good. But that's that's what I got. Kind of going on.
Well, guys.
Yeah.
You heard about our past 2 weeks? Listen, let us know. Twitter. Favorite type of candy? I know Mike's been putting up a lot of polls. A lot of them are funny. The one up there today is very funny. I voted. But come on over, follow us there, follow us on YouTube. But with that being said, we got to go to our ad break. Mike just made me extremely hungry from these wedding stores. I wish I had some food. I might have to get a snack. Guys, we'll be right back after these messages.
Hello and happy holidays, humble family. This is Mike, and I'm here to give thanks and tell you a little bit about our sponsor, Anchor by Spotify. It's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you again for listening to me talk about Anchor. Eventually, we're going to figure it out and we're going to switch it up. Maybe
Season 2.
As our listenership goes up, we'll be able to get different sponsors for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, thanks for bearing with us and getting into the meat of today's show. We're gonna bite into this large sandwich. So we're jumping right in with a Kings games corner, talking about some stuff that's either coming out or we're playing. So I stumbled across this game within the spooky season. I know we're like in November now. Spooky season.
It's still spooky season. I'm counting it. Carry it over.
We're out there, but I saw someone playing online. I think I just came across like on my newsfeed somebody streaming a game called Inscription. I think it's was how you pronounce it, and it's a deck builder kind of horror kind of escape room style game, available on Steam, and I decided to give it a try. I just started playing through it, and I don't know if you've ever played a roguelite type game where you kind of get you get one run and then when you die you gotta start over at the beginning, but you might have acquired things along the way.
That's how this game works?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
snap.
yeah, so like I'll give you a brief kind of understanding of what it is. First, I'll read what Steam has listed as like the official description of the game, just so everyone gets it. Inscription is an inky black card-based odyssey that blends the deck-building, roguelike, escape room-style puzzles and psychological horror into a blood-laced smoothie. Darker still are the secrets inscribed upon the cards. So it's super like ominous, but the way the game works is you are basically you are like you were captured, you're kidnapped by this creepy dude, right? And the only way to survive is to beat the guy in a game of cards. But you soon realize that you're in a room that you can actually get up from the game at any time you want and like go explore the room. And as you play, you begin to like unlock certain things. If you can beat, there's different bosses, kind of like he uses like like different masks to like switch out like personalities, which is very interesting. And so when you defeat different personalities or what have you, you can unlock certain things, and then those items can be used inside the room to unlock other puzzles, because within the room are hidden cards that will help you greatly to succeed in your game. But what's even crazier is when like, I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying this, because it's just the nature of the game, because it's a roguelike. When you die, as expected in a roguelike, you get to it gives you a couple options of the cards you saw in your hand that run, and you get to create a new card based on abilities or health or hit points or attack power or whatever from the other cards. So you get to create like a Franken card. So over time, with more playthroughs, you can build more powerful cards by creating new cards that didn't previously exist in the game. And what's really cool though is, I guess a feature of the horror aspect of the show is when you die, the kidnapper. I don't think I've ever got far enough to know what his real name is. But he takes an old like Polaroid camera out and just takes a picture of you, and then like a silhouette of the character you were playing in the game is now on that card, and it gives you the option to name that card. So you can call it like, this is me, this is Mike, or this is David, or this is Kevin, or this is Jamie, or whatever. And then so when you play back through the game, there are different opportunities to earn new cards, and sometimes it's all random. You just pull one of the random cards, and it's one of those cards that you previously Franken made. And it's just got this really interesting narrative. Some of the cards talk. They're kind of like souls trapped in these cards. A lot of really interesting mechanics. I don't know. I can't speak more highly about it. Highly recommend it. I think it's like $17 on the Steam store. Not a sponsor, but hell, would be awesome if that happened.
We might have to reach out.
Shout out to the developers. It's a developer's named by Daniel Mullins Games, and the publisher is Devolver Digital. Available on Steam. I don't know. Dave, I know you watched the trailer for it. What was your immediate impression?
I was also going to say that it looks really, really fun, especially when they come out with new card games that don't have the mechanics of like the old card games we know, such as Yu-Gi-Oh! All that stuff. It's very, very complex sometimes to get into, but this one's like something new, like something fun to do. I also pitched this idea. You're welcome to take it, because Kevin doesn't want to do it with me, but it kind of reminds me of the idea I pitched to Kevin for like an NFT, which was like horror people, like a card game with horror people that we can make an NFT out of, like Jason's Wood, or Jason's Woods. That's a thing around here. Sorry, Jason, Michael Myers, like all that stuff. Putting them in a silhouette and like a 3D option of some things that they can do. That's what it kind of reminds me of. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. But it looks amazing to me. Yeah. One day. But
I think what's the coolest thing about the game though is because you get to create these Franken cards. Like, although the goal in the game is to survive and beat the final guy, like no one's trip through the game will be the same, because everyone's going to make different cards. So you have a very unique, and even if once you beat the game, I don't know if there's a new game plus or if you just have to start fresh or not. But each new playthrough, if you are starting fresh, will be completely unique based on the random cards you get and stuff like that. So
exactly.
Super cool.
All I can say is definitely looks like Mike has like ran some games by me that look kind of cool and that I should try and play, because I do want to get some games outside of the AAA games that we play, some strong indie ones that we play. I might play it, guys. One thing we didn't talk about, and I'm gonna talk about it now, and I don't know how we didn't get into it. Mike streamed last Friday. We probably should have brought that up. It just hit me because I was thinking about it.
No, it actually just, all right, we'll talk about that right now. We basically, we need to create a new segment on the show first and foremost, and that's like things we forgot, because we did this last episode with too many games, and we're doing it again because it was a big deal, at least it was for me.
Oh, it was big for me, man. I'm in there.
So yeah, so for those of you out there that listen to that know who I am because of my short-lived streaming career earlier this year,
still living.
It wasn't that short. I put a lot of hours in, but like regardless. If you're one of those individuals that found this podcast or listens to this podcast because of that, that relationship you have with me, much love to you. because I've been on the fence about coming back with streaming for a very long time because I wanted it to feel right. I wanted it to feel like it was gonna be fun, right? It wasn't gonna just be this thing I was gonna just do, right? And it's been, I think, 8 months. I think I stopped streaming. It was like the 11th of February was like the last time I streamed before this, and yeah, I mean, I know I went like just completely off the grid. I went cold turkey. We just went head first into podcasting, but yeah, David just, we were joking more or less in the last episode that I was gonna come back and stream, and David was like, "No, it's gonna be next Thursday or next Friday or something." And I just thought to myself, I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, like let's see what happens, right? Maybe no one shows up. Maybe all the people that used to enjoy my content forgot about me, moved on somewhere else. Maybe it's just gonna be me and David playing a game, and no one's gonna be there. And I like, there were a few people that I was like, you know what? Like, if I go live, I'm sure so and so will show up. But gang, I was floored. Like, I didn't realize, the impression I guess I left with a lot of you, because I streamed for 2 hours. David was there playing the game. We were playing Dead by Daylight.
Playing and modding. Yep. I was there.
And yeah, he was playing and modding. And I, for 2 hours, I averaged 10 viewers. And at my highest point, I think I had 17 people in the chat.
Yes, sir.
And that, like, I was so humbled. Like, this is the Humble Threads podcast, but I was so humbled to just see familiar faces in the chat, or names in the chat, just engaging, saying what's up. Like, oh my God, is this real? Is it really? Are you really back? Is this a thing? It meant a lot. It really did. I really appreciated the turnout. I want to like, for anyone who's waiting to know when I'm going to do it again, I don't think I'm going to set up a set schedule. I think I'm going to do exactly what I did this time around. It's just when it feels right, we're going to go. It could be once a week. It could be every other week. It could be once a month. I just want it. Like, I want more of what happened. I want to just throw the stream on, have it be an opportunity to gather, right? Like, you can't party every day, but when you do party, you party with good friends and family, and when you're here, your family. It's like the Olive Garden, on my stream.
Is that the Olive Garden?
Not a sponsor, but we'll take it. I'd do anything for an unlimited pasta pass.
Jeez. Same. Hit us up.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. Really, really amazing. Shout out to everybody. I call my community the Grove, and really cool. So, all I can say is just keep an eye on my Twitter. If I'm gonna go live, that's where I'm gonna say it. But yeah, I don't know, David. Do you have anything you wanted to add to that? Because I mean, you were part of the experience.
Yeah. I'll even bring it into Inscription. I would definitely like, maybe there's a new program out, not a sponsor. We should start reaching out to people. Maybe, I don't know. I forget what it's called, but they kind of simplified the version of you to play games with your friends and stream it at the same time. I think I sent it into our group chat before. I'll have to look at it, but a lot of like sponsor streamers are promoting it and stuff, and it's free. So who knows? Maybe me and Mike will do that one day, where we can play Inscription, and I'm watching. Me and Mike are both watching and seeing what's happening. We can both decide what we want to do. We can make a video out of that, and I think you guys would enjoy that. Or Dead by Daylight, I can be modding and watching while Mike's playing. But I thought it was really cool because I like Mike said, I was kind of pushing him. I was prodding him because there's sometimes when some things need to happen, and I felt like that needed to happen. Because Mike was like, I don't know, it might be 0 to 1 to 2 people. I said, no way, Mike. There's no way. He's like, I don't know, man. And that's Mike being humble, which is good. But 17 people. And it's not like we got 17 people congruently. Like, it built up to that point at the end. There was 17 people when I came in. Like, for the first 15 minutes, there were 17 people. So you guys came in immediately. And that's saying a lot. But to like Mike said, having a schedule is tough. Sticking with the schedule is tough. We both are older. Mike has a wife and he has things he needs to do. I never really fully understood it until now. I have things I need to do. You can't always be on. They need attention to stuff they want you to do. You gotta, you're a team, so you gotta stick as a team. So I know that was a big factor. But to what Mike said, streaming every now and then, we might do it. We might just pop on and play this. We might do that. It'll be on his Twitter. It'll be on my Twitter. It'll be on the Humble Threads Twitter. But I think it's nice just having random people pop up and say hello, and they missed Mike and everything else like that. They say a lot of people were like, "Yo, we tuned into the podcast. Like, where's it?" And we might have got some new people to the podcast from that stream. So we view it as something special, like Mike said, and also to bring light to another project we're doing that's also fun. But congratulations to Mike, like I said, going above and beyond and getting more than he thought he was going to do. I was happy. And it also kind of showed me that I like streaming, but I would always like to be someone behind the scenes with certain things. I've realized that as I got older, like, I have my clothing brand, we have the podcast, we have all that stuff. But something like where Mike is streaming, I just want to be a mod, kind of like Whips to Tim the Tap Man. It'd be fun to be like in the background, just sitting there helping him and watching him play. The streaming is cool, but it is hard work, guys. You got to hustle and everything else like that. And there's a lot of stuff we do, but yeah, man, fun times. Great. Thank you everybody for coming out.
And that completes the segment of things we forgot.
There we go.
Moving on with the docket today. If you've been on this planet in the gaming world for the last decade, the franchise of Call of Duty. Whether you like it, you hate it, you're indifferent towards it, or you have every single one and they just collect dust on your shelf at some point. Call of Duty is coming out with a new addition to the franchise called Vanguard. I believe it launches tonight as of recording this, November 4th. But tonight into tomorrow will be the release, I believe.
Yep.
So midnight midnight it's going live. And I'll say one thing about it. I'll give some 2 cents about it because I don't think I'm gonna play it. But I have played most of the prior ones. Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2. Anyway, the good ones. But anyway, what I like about this one a lot is sometimes I feel like in the newer, more realistic, modern shooters, there's so much reliance on digital tech, whether it's like down to your scope, like a red dot sight,
heartbeat sensor,
or you're calling in a UAV to get radar on everybody, right? Or and all of that kind of, or a drone or whatever. Sometimes I feel like there's so much of the gameplay meta in those versions of Call of Duty are so reliant on that tech that it's less about just being a better player. You know what I mean? And whereas in this, I really like the return to just iron sights, because to me it feels more fair, without having like a super high tech scope or a laser sight or anything like that. I don't know, something about shooting down like a rifle on some iron sights in a game just feels like you earned the kill, in my opinion, more so than just like blasting somebody with an Uzi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but it looks good. I like the cinematics. I watched the trailer for it. The campaign itself looks fun. I know lately everyone's been playing Warzone, and Warzone's been having its own problems, but because Warzone is just the battle royale, it doesn't have like an actual campaign. But I do like how all of the Call of Duties of late kind of still blend into Warzone. Like it usually brings new stuff for Warzone just for having the game. Mm-hmm. Will I play it? I probably won't. At least not, I don't feel like paying for it, because it's just not a Call of Duty game in my opinion. But it looks good for what it's worth. I think it looks good. What do you think, David?
Yeah. All of what Mike said is pretty much true. Yeah. So like, I guess I gotta say like Call of Duty, like I really liked it when I was younger. It was something me and my brother did because we played a lot of the story mode. And as friends, became older, they started getting consoles and everything else like that. Because we used to play Halo a lot when we were younger, but Call of Duty came out, and I had to ask him to play on his console and stuff. So, the last Call of Duty was terrible, guys. It was terrible. It was rough to play through. The game chat was messed up. A lot of glitches, a lot of lag, etc. They did have a couple months to turn it around and like get it in there, and that's why all that stuff's in there. And a lot of people are like, "Well, they had 5 years to build this one, and blah blah, so it's going to be good." And I hope so, but I'm gonna get it only for the simple fact that like this is me and my friends like homecoming for us. Like this is our reunion because a lot of us get the game and then we all play it and then we talk about things that have happened. We haven't seen each other in a while and everything else like that. They live in Westchester. It's not like it's too far from me, but that's usually what we do. And I feel like Call of Duty has that aspect, and that's why people buy it. It's been around for so long, this sense of accomplishment, and also like I get to see my friends and everything else like that happens. Like I'm pretty sure there's stories out there. You probably heard of them on TikTok and everything. It's like, oh, I met my IRL, or I met my friend I played Call of Duty with for 7 years, and it's like, why have they been playing that for 7 years? The game has been around for 7 years. This new one does look good. Like Mike said, I do like it when they don't have like all the scopes and stuff like that. I'm not privy to either one really. I'll use it if I use it, but I think the older ones, it does, like Mike said, I think it applies more skill. Like you have to have skill to hit them sniper shots. You have to have skill to get that kill. Skill to throw the grenade. There's no sticky grenade. You're throwing an actual like just grenade, like it's gonna roll. So a lot of those ones are fun. I'm definitely gonna get it. As much as I'm like, I gotta get another Call of Duty. Just for that simple fact of my friends. I'll probably be streaming it tomorrow. You guys might be listening to this in the morning, but like Mike said, I think I'll be doing it every now and then. I'll be streaming, and especially if like a new game comes out like Call of Duty, I'll probably get it. But it looks good. There's not a lot I can say until we play it, and I'll give you the review once we play it. But yeah, guys, if you're getting Call of Duty, let us know on Twitter. If it stinks, if it's great, if it's terrible, if you love it, if you love to hate it, please let us know. But that being said, with that coming out, I think we're on I think this might be episode 3 of this, but Critical Role just came back after they took a little bit of a break from their campaign. If you guys know what Critical Role is an online, or like a streamed D&D game by some voice actors, well known in Hollywood. They're amazing people, great people. Their company's great. They have a campaign 3. So I watched the first episode. Mike watched the first episode. We're going to give you our different types of feel on it, because I love Critical Role, and this is a great thing for the community, and it's really fun to watch. Mike, how do you feel about it?
I feel like I'm going to get a bunch of ats on Twitter.
You do like the Critical Role people, though. Just say that, like you.
No, yeah. I love everything that Critical Role does. Like I really like. I have the most respect for Matt Mercer. Everything he's ever done for that whole franchise. He's an incredible DM. His voices, his lore, his writing, his delivery. It's his ability to work on the fly. It's all incredible. They've built such an amazing organization. The stage they now use, like everything, the room that they play in, the funding that they have, the fan base, it's incredible. They definitely are the goats of when it comes to actual play content, whether it's podcast form, YouTube form, live on Twitch, or however you consume your Critical Role. Mm-hmm. For me though, like it's a little bit of love-hate, because like I really like the show, and I've enjoyed previous campaigns and things like that, but sometimes I feel like it's a little slow. And I want it to go a little faster. My problem is like I'm so used to listening to real play podcasts such as The Adventure Zone or D&D, the dinner playing role play podcast, or Dungeons and Daddies, not a BDSM podcast. All three are really incredible actual play campaigns, but they're super edited. They're quick. They're streamlined. It's all improv, but it's designed for you to absorb it the most efficiently. Whereas with Critical Role, it's recorded in a live setting, and when you're gonna watch it that way, or if you're watching it live, there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of like rule checking, or there's a lot of like thinking or planning. You don't get like it's just a little different, right? So it's a different way to consume it. So usually in the past, whenever I watch Critical Role, if I want to continue the campaign, if I really like it, I force myself to have to like probably listen it into a podcast format, because I would prefer to kind of like create my own mind palace of what's going on or whatever, versus just seeing the voice actors. Kind of disillusions it a little bit for me. Mm-hmm. super cool that they do that though, a video format, because there's a lot of people that do enjoy that, being able to engage on the chat and like in real time and stuff like that, which is awesome. But yeah, I have to like break it up because the episodes are like 3 hours long. Like most, like the typical actual play podcast does maybe an hour, and it's like a pretty good chunk, and they leave you on like a cliffhanger, and you come back. But this is like 3 hours of constant. The other thing that kind of throws me off a little bit about it is the sheer quantity of the cast. Like how many different.
Oh yeah, they added
people.
a new person this year. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's amazing that Matt's able to maintain all of those storylines like so almost like fluidly, but there's a lot of like breaking up the party. There's a lot of like, oh, we're gonna do a scene with you two now. Everyone else can leave. We're gonna do a scene with you guys. Like I'm very much into like the ensemble moments where everyone's there, everyone's kind of taking, and I feel like in Critical Role, like at least not in the early parts of the campaigns, there isn't a whole lot of everyone together all at once. It's kind of like everyone building their stories, and that's cool and all. But for me personally, just how I enjoy content, it's just for me, I find it a little slow, and I usually allow myself a lot of time to get through it.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the first episode. Like Mike says, 3 hours is a little long, and sometimes there's a lot of downtime in it. Like sometimes they'll do a whole episode of them just shopping for weapons for something they're about to fight. Then you gotta wait till next week to find out what they fight. That's like Dragon Ball Z pacing to me, which I probably should be used to by now. But sometimes I'm like, darn, like I was really hoping they would do something this week. But I guess the best way to put it is like some people like watching action movies, and some people like watching movies that have a lot of story and a little bit of action. And that's usually what happens as far as Critical Role. In the beginning time, Matt has them fighting a lot of stuff. I think they just fought like 2 things in the first 2 episodes. I don't know what's gonna happen in this episode, but he usually does that at the lower levels. Higher levels, it's more diplomatic. It's a lot of talking and figuring out certain things and seeing where it's going. It's a lot of lore, so a lot of people get used to that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess like because when I was back working at my other job, everyone was like, "Dave, would you ever play like D&D?" Like I don't know why people always said that about me. I guess because I can think on the fly so good. I don't know. I guess I'm witty or something. But I was like, "No, that's for nerds." Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then that was the first campaign I was introduced to, so I'm kind of used to it. Sometimes I let the episodes go for like 5 episodes, and then I'll catch up. Because I will listen to them in podcast form. I consume them a lot through podcast form. I would love to watch them, but I have so much to do now. But as far as campaign 3, I think it's great. One gripe I do have is I think when Matt puts them in the same world, they start to harp on like their other characters. So they've been asking, like, I know there's sometimes they're joking around, but they've been asking questions as far as like, oh, you're from here, so what do you know about here? And it's like, why would your character ask that? Like, unless there's something going on over there, your character wouldn't ask that, or like had a prior history over there, or heard something, then yeah. But they're like, oh, you're from here. Like, I guess they're like, oh, you're from Taldore, which is where one of the other campaigns is from. And he's like, how do you know these people? How do you know those people? And they're like, oh yeah, blah blah. I'm like, I was like, Matt should probably stop this because he knows they're just asking because that's their old character. Like, why? And throughout the storyline,
like metagaming.
Exactly. So some of it is good. I didn't watch their other miniseries, so that might be a reason why he asked that question. Because I didn't really find it good, but I might have to go back and watch it. But it was pretty fun. But with them doing that, and with that being said,
yeah. So we've talked about it a little bit over the last couple episodes back. Probably we mentioned a few things. But for the last oh my god, it feels like forever now because I feel like we started like late spring or something, March, maybe May. So I've been running a Dungeons and Dragons campaign with David, our buddy Billy, and our friend Erica, and for one episode, our buddy Kev, who tragically died. So I've been running this game, right? So just to give you like a brief synopsis, like I'm the Dungeon Master. The game was called Treasure More. It was this idea that there would be this epic city in the middle of more like a desert that was like basically made of gold, and it was founded by these 4 champions that destroyed this blue dragon like a millennia ago, and essentially the characters were these like abomination creations from this evil witch who was basically the soul or whatever of the dragon and was trying to reap revenge for her destruction and whatnot. And the gang had to basically solve what the problem was. That they had to figure out what the witch wanted more or less, and how to counteract it, and whether or not they wanted to save the day or assist the witch in the end. But these guys, they went through countless of my dungeons, reckless. Some of them nearly dying half the time. One of them did die, and we had a fun way to bring him back.
Two died.
And oh yeah, so two people officially died. One of them was able to kind of resurrect in a certain way. But the gang, months in the works, we finally got to the end game about a week ago, and the team completely destroyed my final boss. Very epic. Very just overall impressed. This was the first Dungeons and Dragons game I've ever tried to actually DM, to build the narrative myself, to create a playable space that the players wanted to pursue. Give them reasons to want to do something, or to betray whoever, or to fight whoever. But it was a lot of fun, and I think I would absolutely do it again. I've humored the idea of trying to write up like a full synopsis of the campaign and maybe release it in like a ebook or something for anyone interested in the total story of everything that went down. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, David, from the player's perspective, what you think?
Yeah, honestly, guys, we got to give Mike a round of applause because he definitely did the hard work of putting all these stories and everything together. A lot of people say DMing is not intimidating. It is a little bit, just to try and get your stories together and remember everything and all that stuff. It is very easy if you make it easy for yourself and put yourself out with notes, but everyone does stuff differently, which I really like Mike's type of play style. We leveled quickly and we were able to do more fun stuff and do different things. So you really got to flesh out your character. I have been in another D&D campaign for about, I think, maybe 3 or 4 years now, which is hilarious. Once again, going back to D&D's for nerds, and then I was like, oh, I'll try it. A lot of my coworkers and everything, and he's more stretch it out. So we might not level up for 5 games or whatever else like that. But it's still fun that way. It has its own type of fun because then you get to make your own lore and dig into stuff. And then I played with Mike, which was a whole different way, which I had a lot of fun with. Was we're leveling, we're fighting things, the lore is getting different. Now you get to the end of your story. A lot of D&D stories don't end off, and they don't ever have any good conclusion because you got to reach like level 20, level 15 or whatever. And that takes a bit, especially depending on how you level your characters and how the DM wants to level. This was kind of fun. It was like, hey, this is like an HBO Max miniseries. It's like, hey, there's this person, there's this. They do this in the middle, and then they fight this. Stories cut off. This is who they were. This is what happens at the end, and then you're done. And I really like, having to resolve and then figuring out what we're doing. Because at the end, Mike asked me and Erica and Billy, like, what does your character do? And my character name was Catcher. I believe he was a half orc. He was from like an ice tribe somewhere in the Arctic. Within those tribes, there was a lot of like slavery and different things like that. And he pretty much went back, freedom, became the ruler for a bit, and then made his younger brother the ruler, so he could still go out and do what he wants to do, which was great. He had his thing. That's it. Whatever. If we do end up making another thing, and like it's in the same world or something like that, then who knows? Maybe he can run into him. Like that type of stuff would be fun. But I'm not searching for it. It's good. It's fun to have these characters flesh out the story and have some fun. But I loved it. I can't wait until we do more. I want to run one called what has the kids on bikes mechanics, where it's kind of like a Stranger Things vibe and stuff. Because I ran one in Halloween last year that was like Jenga, which I still think's fun. Who knows? If my basement's done, we might do that. But it had to deal with like an occult, and I won't spoil anything because I might run it next month for Mike and some of my other friends, and maybe some of my friends from the old group. And I kind of want to have it like a through line and try and get these two groups together. But you can see how fun D&D is. I hope Mike does type everything out, maybe, and maybe he throws it up on Reddit or wherever.
I mean, just to give you like a peek behind the DM's curtain, I guess. on my DM document of everything I wrote to make the story possible, it's all single spaced, size 12 font, and I have how many pages does that say? I have 40 pages, single spaced.
Did you do like narrative though? Did you do like?
Yeah, like chapter 1, chapter 2.
Okay, and then like he says this, she says this, or whatever. Oh, okay.
I didn't keep all of the dialogue. I would like
Even
at
better.
the end of every dungeon, I would just kind of write a brief of like synopsis of what happened, and then that way I could, if I ever did want to go write it, I could add in a little bit of like narrative flair to make it all make sense. Writing dialogue's tough, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Which is why I shout out to the Adventure Zone, McElroy family, for creating a graphic novel based on their first balance arc, which is I own. I guess everyone's available so far. They've been releasing them in like a episodic way to do it, but yeah, I don't know, super cool. Very proud of everyone that played. They did such a great job. Like David said, I designed the game so that as long like every session was like a contained event. It was they own like different dungeons. Think kind of like very like Zelda, where you had to go to the different temples to get the thing you needed to make the thing continue, more or less.
Or like The Watchmen on HBO Max. Like, that's one series. That was it. They didn't go any further. They didn't go any less.
Yep. And so like every time they'd defeat a dungeon and they'd defeat the boss and get the thing and get back to headquarters or whatever, I would give them a level. So basically, every episode, when we would continue the story, they were gaining levels. They were solving new puzzles every time, fighting new monsters, having new reasons to do all this stuff, and together narratively driving the story, which was super fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to do more. Maybe we'll record one. Who knows? One day.
We could try. I can only imagine the editing would be wild. But I'd be about it.
It's just the volume of our voices. I'd have to make sure the volume of our voices are correct, because guys, you might hear us like the first episode that we've ever done. But other than that, the audio is great. Just royalty-free music. We would have to use. So.
For sure.
Great job, Mike. Thank you.
But thanks for jumping into the meat of today's show. We're gonna stop over for a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is David Graves, one of the co-hosts from the Humble Threads podcast. What's going on, Humble family? I wanted to take a second and reach out to you guys. We would love to hear from you. So recently we have made a Twitter. It is Humble Threads Pod, and the @ is Pod Humble. If you would like to come in, ask us any questions, we might be doing some polls. Who knows? We would love to hear any questions from yo-yoing to comic books to real life to fantasy. Who knows? Also, if you would like, we do have our Gmail still. We understand that not a lot of people want to email us, but we have that. It's in the description if you want to do that. But this right here is for you guys, the Twitter. So please come in, follow us on Twitter, ask us some questions, whatever it may be. We'd be happy to answer them on air. We'll catch you guys later. Stay humble. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you listened to me on what I had to say. There's more than just Twitter. Type Humble Threads, Humble Threads Podcast, either one, anywhere you'll find us. That being said, guys, we got the shirts. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, please come on by. You can find it in our bios. There should be a website that's in there. I know it's in mine. It's also on our social medias. It'll be in the show notes for Anchor and YouTube. We are on YouTube now, so feel free to go on there and click it. Not crazy expensive, guys. They're pretty cheap. They're shirts. It helps us, you can rep us anywhere you go. Somebody might see it and be like, hey, where'd you get that shirt? I'm like, Humble Threads Podcast. 2 guys being regular, just talking about life. Or it also helps us, if we want to get a domain name for that website, or if it helps us get new things for us. My basement will be done soon. Maybe we'll be in the basement. If we take some money from the podcast and from us with the shirts, we might be able to get that happening. I don't know. Some new mics, who knows? We could do it on the fly, camera, I don't know. But that all comes from you guys. I want to stress it a lot. I will always continue to stress it. We do not pocket that money. We will be using it to put towards the podcast because it's something you guys really enjoy, and if it's that good, we'll put back into it. So come on over, grab a shirt. Me and Mike just got ours. We might be doing some photos soon so you guys can see it. And
Some promo shots.
yeah, I'm very pleased. Mike's pleased. We'll be doing some
Yeah.
holiday ones and everything. So to keep up to date with the stuff. But,
Absolutely. Like David said, it will be in the show notes, and it's on teespring.com is specifically where we are hosting the store. Again, yeah, just search Humble Threads and you'll find the shirts and the hoodie there. All right, everybody, thank you so much for hanging with us. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a rating on your podcast platform of choice and consider sharing it with a friend. It really helps the podcast reach new listeners. As always, everybody, my name is Michael Hart. You can find me on most socials at KingpinCaribou, at MikeHart.yoyo, on YouTube's at ThrowLab. But yeah, gang, thanks for listening. Catch you later. David, let the good people know where they can find you.
Guys, like I always say, you can usually find me with David Graves anywhere, Kinggravesgaming, and that's usually about it. I'm pretty sure I switched all my stuff over, or it's about to happen because I forgot. I hope you guys are still here, but I will be ringing the bell at the Sixers game next Thursday. I probably should have mentioned that in the front of the podcast, but you'll see it on our social medias. I'm going to make a graphic for it to put out on everything, mine, the Humble Threads podcast. Whoever wants to have that photo, they can put it out there. I might make it tonight. But guys, thank you for sticking with us. As always, stay home.